has always walked a fine line between fiction and reality, even before the film hit the big screen. Based on the 1969 novel by Mario Puzo, the film tells the story of an Italian-American family involved in organized crime. The novel laid the foundation for the first two parts of the trilogy, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Get ready to discover the real-life gangsters who inspired the film's characters, which deadly confrontations were based on actual events, and how the Mafia tried to stop the story from being told on screen.
Don Vito Corleone was modeled after the real Mafia boss, Frank Costello. While Don Vito shares characteristics with other notable mobsters like Joe Profaci, who used his olive oil business as a front for criminal operations, and Carlo Gambino, who took a low-key approach to rise to power, his closest resemblance is to Frank Costello. Known as the Prime Minister of the Underworld, Costello preferred diplomacy over violence and maintained influence through political and business connections. In fact, Marlon Brando, who played Don Vito, based the character's voice on recordings of Costello testifying before the Kefauver Committee, which was investigating organized crime.
Mo Greene's death mirrors the real-life assassination of gangster Bugsy Siegel. In the film, Greene is credited with putting Las Vegas on the map. In reality, Jewish gangster Benjamin Bugsy Siegel was responsible for building the Flamingo, one of the first Mafia-controlled casinos in Vegas. Like Greene, who was shot in the eye for betraying the Corleone family, Siegel was also killed with a shot to the head after embezzling Mafia funds to build his casino. Shortly after his death, the Mafia took over the Flamingo.
Michael Corleone and the restaurant scene. The iconic scene where Michael Corleone murders two of his father's enemies in a restaurant draws from one of the most infamous moments in Mafia history.
I meet my rivals at an Italian restaurant, and after retrieving a hidden gun from the restroom, I kill them both.
In 1931, Charles Lucky Luciano found himself in a similar situation. Luciano had a meeting with his boss, Joe Masseria, at an Italian restaurant. After excusing himself to go to the bathroom, Luciano's gunmen stormed in and shot Masseria multiple times, ending their feud. Mobsters fleeing to Italy. After the restaurant shooting, Michael Corleone flees to Sicily, where he finds refuge and even marries.
This is similar to real-life mafioso Vito Genovese, who fled to Italy to escape charges related to a murder. I only returned to the US after the charges were dropped.
Another example is Lucky Luciano, who moved to Italy after being deported, but continued to oversee his American crime empire from afar. Luciano also had a relationship with a woman 20 years younger, whom he stayed with until her death in 1959. The Mafia versus Hollywood. Joe Colombo and the New York Mafia weren't happy about the making of and took action to stop it.
Frustrated with how Italian Americans were portrayed in films, My Mafia began intimidating the production crew. Producer Al Ruddy had his car vandalized, and the situation escalated when Paramount executive Robert Evans received threats directed at his wife and newborn child.
To resolve the issue, Ruddy met with Colombo himself, who agreed to back off if the word Mafia was removed from the script, a request easily granted, as the word only appeared once. Do you enjoy Saga? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to share this story.